The morning sun painted golden stripes across the floor of their small cottage. Ava tied her woven wristband tight while her mother braided her long dark hair. Today was the big day for the village to share its old tradition. Ava felt like a spring waiting to pop because the fair was here. They packed a small bag with water and some sweet honey cakes. Her mother smiled and adjusted Ava's festive tunic until it sat just right. "Are you ready to see the magic of our people?" her mother asked. Ava nodded her head fast and skipped toward the heavy wooden front door. She could already hear the distant music calling toward the village square. They reached the grand village gate, where the air smelled like roasting nuts. Bright flags of saffron and turquoise fluttered in the warm breeze above them. Ava saw rows of stalls filled with colorful toys and beautiful basket weaving. The sounds of hand drums and bamboo flutes made her feet dance. "Our heritage is everywhere today," her mother said while pointing at the gate. Ava traced the patterns on the wooden posts with her small index finger. Everything was so bright and loud, she did not know where to look. She saw a mountain of orange marigolds piled high near a flower stall. The village felt like a giant, happy heart beating for everyone to hear. A man sat at a low table with a big pile of wet mud. He was a master artisan who knew how to talk to the clay. Whir, slap, whir. The heavy wheel spun fast while his hand stayed very still. As the potter spins the wheel, the clay seems to dance into shape. It looked like it knew exactly what it wanted to be very soon. "Round and round the clay goes," Ava whispered while watching the mud. Her mother placed a gentle hand on her shoulder and watched too. "Together we make, together we stay." Trace a circle in the air together like a spinning potter's wheel. Ask your child, if you could make anything, what would it be? Next, they found a stall filled with wooden masks of lions and birds. An artisan used a tiny brush to paint gold dots on a beak. "We celebrate our stories with these masks," her mother explained with a smile. Ava picked up a bird mask that felt warm and real. She imagined herself flying high over the village trees and the bright fair. "Round and round the clay goes," she remembered the potter, while she painted. She used a bright turquoise color to make the feathers look very pretty. This was part of her heritage that she could keep forever. Ava felt proud to help create something that looked so beautiful and old. They sat on a woven mat with an old woman holding green leaves. The woman showed Ava how to use the long, smooth strips of palm. Swish, fold, snip. The leaves moved like magic through the woman's busy and wrinkled fingers. "Fold it here, tuck it there," the lady sang while she worked fast. Ava tried to follow, but her fingers felt a little bit too slow. "Try again," her mother whispered while she helped hold the leaf. Weaving took a lot of focus and a very steady, calm hand today. Finally, a small green bird appeared in Ava's hand like a gift. "Together we make, together we stay. Fold it here, tuck it there." The sun began to dip low and turn the sky amber gold. Lanterns were lit one by one until the fair looked like a star. Ting-a-ling! Finger cymbals rang out as the village began to dance and sing. An artisan beat a wooden xylophone with a steady and happy rhythm now. "Round and round the clay goes," the people sang while they spun. Ava wore her bird mask and felt the heritage of her village nearby. It was time to celebrate the hard work of all the makers today. She danced in a circle and felt the warm air. The village heartbeat was strong and full of love for their ways. The moon rose high, and turned the path into a silver ribbon. Ava walked slowly while holding her bird mask and palm leaf bird. The night air felt cool and smelled like the damp, fresh river clay. "Fold it here, tuck it there," she whispered to her tiny bird. Her mother walked beside her and hummed a very soft and sweet tune. They left the tradition of the fair behind, but carried it inside. Weaving through the trees, Ava felt the weight of her treasures in her hands. Together we make, together we stay. She was tired, but her heart was still dancing from the big day. The village was quiet now as they reached home. They stepped inside the cottage and lit a single small oil lamp. Ava placed her mask on the shelf next to her mother's jars. "We will celebrate again next year," her mother said while tucking her in. Ava knew that tradition lived in her hands and in her heart. She would practice weaving and painting until she was a master artisan too. The heritage of her people was a gift that she would always keep. Fold it here, tuck it there. She closed her eyes and saw the spinning wheel in her dreams. Ask your child, which craft would you like to try? The golden bird